Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us again. My name is Lori and this is the Chronicles of the Muslimah, and we are talking about hijab. And we're joining in on a discussion that our sisters who were born Muslim were having about wearing the hijab and why they wear it and how they feel. And so we thought it would be helpful for everyone to hear the perspective of a revert and why would a woman who used to be able to wear tank tops and shorts when it was 100 degrees outside, why would we willingly choose to cover every inch of our body? And for me, the reason that everyone thought, they all assumed that because I married a Muslim man that, oh, he said you must wear hijab, my wife will not go outside without it.
That's what my husband did.
And it's so not true. I actually asked my husband, who's from Egypt, where most women wear hijab, I asked him if he would be okay with me wearing it. I felt it in my heart. I felt called by Allah to put it on, and I think it's important to explain to just the general population that hijab doesn't just mean throwing a scarf on your head. If I just cover my hair, but I'm out in tight, skinny jeans and, boobies all out, that's not hijab. Hijab is modesty. It's covering your body, covering your beauty, so that the only person, for those of us who are married, the only person that sees us uncovered is our husband or our family, our children, So for me, it was just almost a relief to not be walking around outside anymore as an object of sexuality or, who's looking at me, who's talking to me, who's flirting with me. Now I still want to look nice and look pretty, but I don't know, how do you feel about when you put your hijab on? Do you feel like it hides your beauty, or do you feel more beautiful with it on?
There's a saying that it's really dear to my heart. My mom uses it. I do believe Angelina said it, Angelina Jolie, but don't quote me. It says, does the sun beauty, does it go away when it's hidden by the clouds? Is it not as beautiful just because the clouds are, overcasting it a little bit? And that's how I feel with the hijab. It doesn't take away from our beauty. If anything, I feel like it enhances it. And also the hijab is not just about, putting on the cloth. It's about how you present yourself. You could be giving all Google eyes and sexual eyes with, looking at somebody. You could undress somebody with your eyes. It's how you present yourself. It's the way you speak, your manners. It's the way, you lower your gaze. It's all of that. It's a whole package deal. It's not just, oh, let me wrap myself up. No, it's not about that. And
it doesn't mean we're perfect. It doesn't mean,
now that
I wear hijab, I'm perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, except for Naomi. Naomi's perfect with hijab. But it's not, we believe that Allah calls us to do this because a woman's beauty should be for select people, should not be out for the whole world, and should be for our God, for our husbands, for our families, should not just be on display. That's not the purpose of a woman, I don't believe. So how do you feel about when you decided to put it on?
The hijab is the first reason I ended up coming to Islam. So in San Luis Obispo, there was a lot of Catholics and then there was a lot of Muslims. So every time I saw Muslim women with the hijab on, I was always looking at them like, oh, I love the way that they dress and how they were covered. And I was in a crazy era at that time. But I always continued to wow, I want to wear hijab like them. And then that's what drug me into going online comparing Christianity, because I was once Christian, and Islam. And I started studying, and then November of 2006, that's when I decided to stop eating pork. I stopped doing certain sins, and I wasn't Muslim yet, but I started to practice on my own. And hijab was the main factor of seeing a lot of Muslim women with the hijab that I wanted to do it also. And then alhamdulillah, as me continue with my journey, alhamdulillah, 2007, that's when I did convert. And then that's when I decided to put on the hijab. And I have to say, the first 3 years I was dedicated, and I will only wear fully hijab. And then I had some trial years after the 3 years of being Muslim, where sometimes I wouldn't wear hijab, or sometimes that I would, and then I went back fully hijab, and then even like recently, I start doing the turban, but the whole point of it is not just putting on the scarf. Islam says we're supposed to only show our face, hands, and feet, and that's also the purpose.
And I would say for me, I started to wear hijab actually 2-3 years after I converted. And what I was drawn to hijab because of sisters I thought it was so beautiful, like the different swag. It was just a whole different swag, like you have just what's propagated in the media, which is just like the black burqa, the boring frumpy look, and then I would go to the masjid and I'd see the Nigerian look, even the Hispanic look, the African American. Everyone, it was so, you never see two Muslim women dressed the same.
They don't have the same way they wear the scarf.
And and then as I started to, I was nursing at the time. I started to see how it's actually more conducive to a woman's lifestyle to cover up, because we're doing so much we're bending over, we're nursing and things of that nature. So these things actually keep us from being exposed, and so I felt like it was way more, for me, it was more practical to a lifestyle of a woman to be covered. And and I was drawn to it, from the beauty of it. Like, okay, it is beautiful, and it shows, and then the funny thing about it is I find that, being born in America, is that what women usually do, our sisters in outside of Islam or that don't wear hijab, is we'll show everything outside, but we'll come inside and put the scarf on. And we'll put the loose baggy clothes on,
the sweatpants, wrap their hair up.
So our bosses and all these men who don't know us, they can see everything, but then our husbands is like, we're walking around with the burqa, our hair wrapped up in zip juice, whatever cream all over us. So I was like, wow, this makes more sense. Like,
flip it
be
and show
beautiful at
for your
home.
husband.
Yeah, not for these people who are not going to appreciate you, love you. They're not gonna appreciate value you.
Right.
So I found it was an empowerment. It was a choice of empowerment for me to wear hijab.
And non-Muslims always ask, well, do you wear that at home? And I say yes, in the shower. Even. I don't get under. It's a sin for me to get naked.
Yeah.
No. At home, when it's 100 degrees out, I wear whatever I want. It's my son and my husband. It's fine. And we are supposed to look beautiful for our husbands and be comfortable in our own homes. And so that's a misconception a lot of people have. We do not dress like this in the privacy of our own homes when it's just our family. So.
And one example of someone who covered themselves, who was modest, is the mother of Mother Mary, basically. Jesus' mother. Everybody, you can look at her and see how modest she was, how pure she was, and she did that as a devotion to her Lord. Like, she didn't do it for anyone else, and that's what we're trying to portray. We want to be modest. We want to follow in the footsteps of the righteous women, the women who have piety. We want to be of those type of women. Everybody struggles with it. We all had our, spills with it. You come into it as a revert. It's not the norm. People, your family may not accept it. They might, back up, like, what are you doing? Like, are they forcing you to do this?
Or do you want to be Arab?
Yeah, is this a cult? Like, what are you doing?
Like, my family's already planning for my rescue when I'm in a tunnel somewhere in Egypt. I mean, that's their mentality. They think
intervention.
I'm just being
Come
oppressed.
meet us.
Right. But the point is it's not oppression. We do this from our heart, from our soul, for our God, for Allah. And a big fear was work. What about work? What do you do? Allah brings you to the right job. Alhamdulillah. So I work in an Islamic school now where I wear hijab freely. So this is part of who we are, and we love to do it, and we'd love to answer any questions, hear your comments, hear your stories about hijab too. So thank you for joining us.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.